Okay, so today we learned how to solve quadratics by completing the square. Remember that on completing the square, you want to try and get the x squared and the x term by itself. So you have to move the constant over to the right side. So we're going to add 16 on this problem so that we can get it to the other side. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room because you have to add something after the 6x. Now, to figure out what that something is that you add, you have to take the b number, which is -6 in this case, and half it. -6 divided by 2 is -3, and then you have to square that number, which gives you 9. Now, that 9 is going to be added to both sides of the equation. So you have the b number, square it, and add that answer to both sides. Now, once you've done that, now you have to factor the left side. So this has to be factored. And the hint that we gave you in class was that it's going to be a perfect square binomial, okay? And so you're looking for two numbers that multiply to give you 9 and add up to -3. I'm sorry, it's -6. So the two numbers that work are -3 and -3, because -3 times -3 is 9, and -3 plus -3 is -6. So this would be like saying x minus 3 times x minus 3, which we can write as a perfect squared binomial. So x minus 3 squared, which equals 25. Now at this point, you're going to solve using your square roots, which you learned in the last unit. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. That's going to give me x minus 3. And then when I take the square root of 25, I get plus or minus 5. Okay? Now when I add 3 to both sides, I'm going to get x is equal to 5 plus 3, and x is equal to -5 plus 3. So my two answers are going to be 8 and -2. Okay, for the next one, we're going to add 28 to both sides. Move the c value over. You get x squared plus 12x equals 28. To figure out what we are going to add, we're going to half the b value, which is 6, and square it, which is 36. So we're going to add 36 to both sides. So when I do my binomial squared, it's going to be the same number. So 6 times 6 gives you 36, 6 plus 6 gives you 12. So this is going to be x plus 6 squared equals 64. When you take the square root of both sides, you end up getting that x plus 6 is equal to plus or minus 8. I subtract 6 from both sides, I'm going to get x is equal to 8 minus 6, and x is equal to -8 minus 6. So this is 2, and this is -14. Those would be my two answers. Okay, on 3, it's already done for us. As far as the c is concerned, it's on the right side, so we don't have to do anything. So I'm going to start with the step of halving the b, which is 8, and squaring it, which is 64. So this is going to be x squared plus 16x plus 64 equals 13 plus 64. Remember that what you add here, you have to add here. So my perfect square binomial is going to be x plus 8, because 8 times 8 is 64, and 8 plus 8 is 16. And that's going to be equal to 77. Okay, when I take the square root of both sides, I get x plus 8 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 77. Now when you think about 77 and simplifying that radical, that's 7 times 11. Both of those are prime numbers. So radical 77 cannot be simplified. So when you move this 8 to the other side, your answer is just going to be -8 plus or minus the square root of 77. That is not like the ones before where we had a whole number when we took the square root. So this one we have to just keep like that. Number 4, we're going to add 7 to both sides. So we get x squared minus 2x. Leave yourself some room. We're going to take half of negative 2, which is, whoops, sorry. We're going to take half of negative 2, which is negative 1. When we square it, we get 1. So we are going to add 1 here and add 1 here. Now remember, anytime you square a negative number, it has to be positive, because a negative times a negative is always a positive. So this is going to be x minus 1, okay, because negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, and negative 1 times negative 1 is, or I'm sorry, negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. So x minus 1 quantity squared equals 8. Now we take the square root of both sides, and we get x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus. Now 8 can be simplified. That's 2 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So we have a set of 2's that come out, and we have this 1 2 that stays in. So it's going to be 2 radical 2. When I add 1 to both sides, that does not become 3. You put the 1 in front of the plus or minus, so that's plus 1 plus or minus 2 radical 2. You do not add these two numbers together. That is a no-no. That just becomes 1 plus or minus 2 radical 2.